So with FoxAlien already having the Vasto XL on the market, why would they bother to produce a machine of a very similar size? Well, let's take a look and understand why. Hello and welcome to another episode where we are taking a look at the FoxAlien CL-6560, the latest in what I would call their larger desktop CNC range. Now the question I just asked is, why would they make a machine of a similar size to the Vasto XL when they already have that on the market? Well, the simple answer is the price difference. This comes in at under $2,000, whereas the Vasto XL is closer to $2,700. So a $700 difference makes a huge impact when we are talking about desktop CNC machines. So I suppose the real question is, why would you pick this over something like the Vasto XL? Well, here are my top 3 reasons straight up front. The work area is much bigger at 650mm by 600mm with a Z travel of 110mm, so quite a bit of difference in terms of the overall volume of the work area. Next we have the stepper motors. Now these are much higher rated at 3.1 Newton meters. So what that basically means is I could easily stand on top of here and this would move my body weight without any issue. I could probably turn this up on edge and it may even lift my body weight up and down. Something I might try on a future episode. But not only are they more powerful, they are also closed loop steppers, which basically means that there is less chance of things going wrong with them and ultimately missing steps which can ruin jobs. So it helps you in minimizing risk. And they are very fast with a top speed of around 6,000mm per minute. Now the third reason as well is you have an offline controller built into the machine. Not everybody needs an offline controller, but it is a nice additional feature for those that don't always have a spare laptop to leave next to the machine running during every job. So if all that is in favour of the CL-6560, then why does the Vasto XL cost $700 more? Well, the difference really is the Vasto XL runs entirely on linear rails, whereas this only has linear rails in the Z assembly. Now the reason for that, FoxAlien have gone with this new system of hollow sectioned aluminium. It is reinforced inside and pretty thick, but it's hollow straight down the middle, which allows the ball screw drive system to sit in there and ultimately keeps it away from any dust and debris when you are machining, which is genuinely brilliant because it saves it all building up. Now the downside to it is the gap that they have left for maintenance is quite small. It is only probably just over a centimetre deep, so you have very little room to be able to clean in there or to be able to apply grease in there. Now as part of these aluminium sections as well that house the ball screw drive system, it is also a slightly different running system on top. Instead of V wheels that you may have seen on previous machines, they're sort of inverted V wheels. The metal goes into the wheel and it is a V-shaped wheel that runs across these 2 tracks on either axis. Now I was skeptical about these when I first received the machine, but I have to be honest, I have not had a single issue with them. Yes, dust and debris does sit on top of them, but the inbuilt dust guards do a nice job of cleaning everything off as it goes back and forth, and so far I haven't noticed any bumps or movement as it goes over debris. Obviously, because these little ridges are pointed, effectively the debris falls off and away from them. Now I did start off using the 400 watt spindle that is supplied. Now whilst this is fairly small in comparison to the machine, it will easily cut through wood and also machine metal with the right speeds and feeds. But any eagle-eyed viewers will see that I've upgraded to a much bigger 1.5 kilowatt air-cooled spindle. Now FoxAlien do preempt you upgrading, so they supply this machine with a 65 and 69mm diameter holders, which will ultimately take your average trim routers such as Makita, Bauer, Harbor Freight. Also the 69 will take a DeWalt trim router. But as I say, I went even bigger than that, up to this 1.5 kilowatt spindle, because the machine can handle it. And with this type of spindle installed, you will breeze through any type of material, whether it's hardwood, whether it's metal. It really can handle so much and at much higher speeds. So what did I get up to after installing this spindle? Well, I started by doing a Spoilboard for the machine. It just guarantees that everything runs nice and parallel and you're going to get the best results from anything you are machining. I then moved on to do a very simple bowl out of some sapel wood. Now I did this with multiple bit bit changes, had a nice rounded edge on the inside and also a nice chamfered edge on the top instead of doing a round over. I really liked how this bowl came out and it machined it in no time at all. Next I moved on to a beautiful piece of zebrano wood that I had, also known as zebra wood, obviously from how prominent the grain is within the material itself, and it always comes out beautiful. I decided to cut out a serving board from this material as well as a little pot to sit on top of it. Again, I did this as a multiple bit job. I started by surfacing the top of the material down and the bottom to guarantee it was all flat and parallel. I then moved on to engraving a little bit of text as well as adding a chamfer all around the edge, again to save doing a round over on this. I then cut it all out, and as I say, it just machined out so easy using this much more powerful spindle matched with the powerful stepper motors that you get on this machine. And someone that I've been helping recently get into CNC and laser sent me a pot of their board butter to finish this beautiful piece off. It just really makes the grain pop. It is food safe and therefore perfect for using to serve food. What is the point in having a larger work area if you cannot utilise it? So I designed this table across two separate pieces of MDF. The legs essentially slot together with a few extra supports, and then obviously the tabletop sits on top of those legs. Now this is just MDF. It did machine very easy at high speeds. I think it was about 4,000 millimeters per minute I was cutting through this, but ultimately I wanted to do something different on the top, so I put in this fake grain pattern. Now it did take quite a while to actually draw all this out correctly, but the results were amazing, especially considering it is just plain MDF, especially when the paint was applied to it. It just really made that grain pop and has certainly made this table look quite unique. So after doing a couple of hardwood projects and then a large scale MDF project, I wanted to come down to something smaller. So I started surfacing this piece of aluminium to see exactly what it was capable of doing. We can see it here cutting through at 2,000 millimeters per minute of a depth of 1.5 millimeters per pass. And as we can see, it is doing it very easy. We got some nice good chips flying off that spindle. Next I went a little bit deeper and went down to 2 millimeters per pass, but slowed the speed down to 1,500 millimeters. And again, it is just doing it nice and easy and giving us some very nice chips off it. Then I decided to try and do a polish pass. So this is running at 5,000 millimeters per minute. It's only taking 0.2 millimeters off per pass, but it gives a beautiful shiny finish that could easily be polished up to a mirror finish. So despite my initial hesitations about these new track tube systems that FoxAlien implemented on this machine, I have to be honest, I've been pleasantly surprised with them. Now when I first started running the machine, the axes do get tight at the front and backs, or the full extent of each axis. Now I think this was just the machine bedding in, because as I've used it more, these have got a little bit looser and it now runs much freer. Now I did mention earlier on in the video about this having an offline controller inbuilt to the control box. Now whilst I don't use it myself very often because I have a PC, it is easy to navigate and very simple for the user. One thing I would suggest to FoxAlien to look into though is maybe try bringing the offline controller on a little bit more. Now what I mean by that is this is the same offline controller they've been using for a couple of years now, and whilst everything does work and it is good, they could put a few more features into it to make the user's life easier without destroying the simplicity of it. Is this the biggest machine you will get for $2,000? No, it is not. There are some self-assembly kits on the market where you will get a bigger work area for your money. But are they as good a quality? I can't answer that, I've never tested them. But the reason I would pick one of these machines over those assembly kits is how easy it is to get set up. All of this can be built within an hour because basically most of it comes pre-assembled, as opposed to those self-build kits where you literally have to put every single nut and bolt together and you can be there for hours, sometimes days. They make this process so simple, so smooth, and the tolerances in these machines are amazing. This just slides together so easy and is square straight out of the box. I am really impressed with the quality that they are now achieving with these CNC machine builds. I should also mention this is the baby in the CL range. There is a bigger version of this, the CL-4x4, which will take your sheet material at 122 centimeters wide. This is pretty much double the work area of this machine, and also has even more powerful stepper motors. So the bottom line is, if you have $2,000 to spend on a CNC machine, go and check those links out below the video, because this should definitely be at the top of your list. If you have a little bit more to spend, well, maybe put it towards an upgraded router or spindle like I have here to really get the most out of this machine. I have genuinely loved using it. It has been so simple from setup through to doing the various jobs. If you are thinking of buying this machine, please check out the affiliate links in the description area below. They do not cost you anything. I may just get a tiny bit back to ultimately help keep the channel going, and it will take you to the best available price for the machine. Thank you all very much for watching. If you did find it useful, as always, thumbs up, and please make sure you subscribe. Final thanks as always goes to my patrons. I really appreciate the support I get from you. If you want to get involved for one-to-one help, giveaways and early access to content, then also check out the Patreon links in the description area below. I will see everyone on the next episode.